Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Got another video for you guys. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below. This article here is from Data Breach Tapes, another cybersecurity news resource. It says Los Angeles school district hit by ransomware attack. K-12 schools increasingly are ransomware targets. And from my other video, you saw that the FBI recently released some kind of advisory warning telling the education organizations that they are targets for cyber criminals and these ransomware attacks. It's not surprising because a lot of times these school systems don't have the appropriate budget to implement those cybersecurity tools, cybersecurity countermeasures to counteract these attacks. Moving down here, ransomware attacks disrupting some operations at California's largest public school system just weeks after the start of the academic year. See here, they detected unusual activity over the weekend. It was later identified as ransomware, of course, motivated by criminal gain. It says fundamental school system functions were not affected by this attack. The attack did disrupt the district's email system and other applications. At some organizations, the email system is considered a critical system or application, which is surprising. They didn't really classify that under critical systems, but says other critical systems such as employee healthcare, payroll systems, and school safety emergency mechanisms remain unaffected. District said, of course, they reached out to the FBI and the CISA organization to get assistance from those guys and probably share information related to this ransomware attack. Of course, ransomware attacks ramped up attacks against school systems, particularly after the novel coronavirus pandemic forced hasty adoption of remote tools for teaching, right? And there's been all kinds of articles over that. People taking their company issued laptops home or using personal devices to connect to corporate networks. And in turn, those endpoints tend to get compromised. I mean, people, I'm sure, look at personal email and there's all kinds of crap on there. I mean, it's just crazy how some of these bring your own device policies are in place and stuff like this happens. I mean, this could have came from just regular business email, but who knows? It doesn't really state it here. It says here that the nonprofit K-12 Security Information Exchange says it knows of 62 ransomware attacks on schools during 2021, but warns that public reporting of school districts could undercount the number of actual attacks by a factor of 10 to 20, which is not surprising. I mean, who wants to have their school district in the news headlines? But I mean, a lot of times schools doesn't have the appropriate resources. They have to reach out to the FBI and such. Ransomware attacks can be costly incidents for school districts, which are typically financially pressed, as I stated before. A lot of times they don't have the proper resources to implement those cybersecurity countermeasures. A 2020 riot ransomware attack against Baltimore County Public School cost nearly $9.7 million in recovery expenses. That is insane. That's just absolutely crazy. Response plan, if all the steps listed out here, a lot of this is just basically implementing cybersecurity best practices. I mean, let's see here. Look at some of these recommendations. Deploy skilled human resources, especially IT personnel, all sites affected by a ransomware attack to assist with potential technical issues, right? Invest in cybersecurity personnel, get those people in there so they can look through everything and implement those countermeasures. Full-scale reorganization of departments and systems to bolster data safeguards. Sounds like it has something to do with maybe hardware, software inventory. Expand ongoing assistance from federal and state law enforcement entities. Forensic review of systems, of course. Setting up advisory council to advise on best practices and systems such as emerging technology management protocols. Wow, no surprise here. Like I said, best practices. Technical or technology advisors to assess security procedures, practices in district, review data center, blah, blah, blah. Introduce mandatory cybersecurity training for employees. That is very important. I mean, a lot of times employees are the first line of defense. They're getting those emails or those phone calls, what have you, and you need to train them properly. You know how to deal with a email, try to determine if it's suspicious or not, and then train them on how to report the email to the appropriate personnel at your organization. As I said before, a lot of times these incidents or cyber attacks happen because there is a lack of cybersecurity best practices. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below on your thoughts and opinions on this article. I'll have the link posted in the description section. Thank you. Have a good day.